Well, hi YouTubers, hope everyone is having a lovely Sunday. It is strange weather. New Doctor Who coming out today, being revealed. Last day Wimbledon, like I care because I don't watch Wimbledon. And I just finished this, Sophie Kinsella's My Not So Perfect Life. Now, okay, I love Sophie Kinsella, also writes under Madeline Wickham, who I recommend those books. Those books are so biting. And also wrote a young adult novel which I read earlier on this year called Finding Audrey, which was brilliant. It was one of the best descriptions of a teenage girl suffering from mental health issues I think has ever been written. She just nailed it. Not just as an adult reading this, it's an excellent book. And now just finished this, My Not So Perfect Life. Now, Katie Brennan, a Somerset girl who now lives in London, wants the perfect life. She wants to go to the glamorous parties. She wants to wear the high heel, the expensive Miu Miu shoes. She wants Prada. And in reality, unlike on her life on Instagram, which describes this perfect life, her real life is she lives in the grotty flat with quite odious housemates. She is pretty much a lowly assistant for a apparently bitch of a boss called Demeter. She buys her clothes in markets, and she's poor. And that is one thing I'm gonna love about Sophie Kinsella is the way she describes London. Now, I'm a London girl, West London, about 14 miles from the central, and central London, and so it's only like half an hour train, this and that. And the way she describes my capital city, the reality of London, the grime, the grit, but the energy of the city. London is a great city, but it will chew you up. And it's an expensive city. I mean, everyone goes on about the art and the culture of London. To be honest, most of the plays in London I've never seen. The museums and galleries that are free I've been to, of course. The National Gallery in Trafalgar Square, love. British Museum also. And so there's that division in London between the rich and the poor. But Katie wants the perfect life. She wants Demeter's life. She looks up to her boss Demeter whilst hating her for that perfect life. Demeter has the very expensive house. Demeter has the gorgeous children. Demeter has, the fake life to the real life is that division there. So I love the way she describes her city, well, my city, London. But one thing I liked about this book is the lead character's not that nice. No. She's a bit of a hypocrite. She is judgmental. She is arrogant, and she kind of wants everyone. I mean, Demeter is several years older than her, worked very hard to get to her position, yet she wants the life but without putting in the work. Now, Katie is talented, okay? In her work, she's lost her accent, her Somerset accent, and she wants to reinvent herself, rebrand herself. She works for a branding company. She wants to rebrand herself as Cat, which is fine. Everyone kind of does it. Everyone has their fake voice. Good afternoon, how can I help you? To their real life, okay? No problems with that. But with her arrogance, she seems to want that life right now. That. I like flawed characters, and Katie totally tore me in some ways. But anyway, moving on to the book. So Katie has this job where now everyone respects her brilliance, her talent, and instead of her boss giving her a massive project to work on, a branding, marketing deal to kind of showcase her brilliance after only 7 months of in the company, she wants her to dye her roots. Yeah, it's kind of like that, yeah. So, but anyway, at work she meets this guy who, by the way, this is a spoiler review, that's going to be in the tag. It's a spoiler review, and she meets this guy who turns out basically to be a boss, who's very rich, because in his books, Sophie Kinsella characters often get with the rich ones. And it doesn't really work out, and then, so they're getting a promotion, everyone falling at Katie's feet, she loses her job. Which it happens, and the thing is this, I mean, Katie has never ever said to any of her colleagues, I have financial problems, I wear my clothes on the markets. And so, as they don't know, it's easy for her to be judgmental, but they don't know what it's like. It's like, we haven't told them. It's no crime in saying to someone, oh, do you want to go out tonight? Oh, I can't, so finances are a little bit strapped this month, okay? Or, hey, let's go somewhere cheaper, okay? That's no crime. But Katie has this kind of issue about people knowing her financial status, which, maybe it's a class thing, okay? But with me, it's kind of like, hey Joe, do you want to go clubbing tonight? Oh, I really can't at the moment. It's a bit skin. I just, pay for something. That's it, okay? So, loses her job, has to move back with living with her dad on her farm in Somerset, and this is where, to me, the book really, really comes alive. I mean, because her dad is building up, who is kind of scatterbrained and likes a deal and isn't, he knows some dodgy people, but he wants to build a legitimate glamping business. Now, I've been glamping. I went to Warwick Castle with my sister last year, and it was great. I recommend glamping to any family out there. We took her 2 daughters, and it was so much fun. Honestly, we're staying in this gorgeous, like, pristine tent, and and it was like with horrible histories thing going on, so kids could go around and collect like stamps. At the end of it, you got like a little present, and it was good for kids. And glamping is a building industry, and the way Katie describes how she got to that point with her glamping company, I kind of wish the focus on that book would have been more on that, because that would have been an interesting build up for turning this farm into this glamping business. And the way her dad kind of changes himself as well to become like the ultimate farmer, okay, which all the kids love, okay. It's really, really well described. And one thing I love is this: in a lot of fiction, the relationship between because Katie lost her mother at a very, very early age, the relationship between stepmother and stepdaughter can be a little bit kind of, no. Biddy is Katie's mother. She's great. I love the stepmother. She's the voice of reason. She is warm. She is kind. I mean, there's a whole issue, Kay, of her being Katie's stepmom, but I was like, you're great. You are Katie's mum. You don't really get too much involved. You don't overstep the kind of like mum margins, but you're there for Katie, and I love that. I just want to say, in fiction, stepmoms are often characterised as Eeyore characters. No, Biddy is great. Her relationship with her dad is just really, really good. The relationship between the parents is quite important to this, because Katie can't tell anyone that she lost her job, because she's ashamed. She thinks her dad is going to basically force her to come and live back in Somerset, but Katie wants London because London's London, okay? And then, dun dun dun, evil boss Demeter books a holiday by some weird turn of events of Katie, knows about the company, books a holiday with her family and her husband, and does Katie just take some responsibility and introduce herself to Demeter and say, I've been doing this, hey, look, you got rid of me, but this proves that independently I can build up my own brand? Or does she get revenge on Demeter? Latter option. Yeah. Hypocritical, I know. But, so, I like that, because I was sat there thinking, really, because Demeter is not a bad person. She's presented in opening chapters as a horrible person, but I just sat there thinking, no one's going to hold your hand in life, Katie. Demeter is not evil. She's your boss. Katie's got like this kind of like, I imagine a boss where she'd take me under her wing and kind of show me the way. That's kind of like, no. It's only when Katie breaks away from Demeter, she sees how Demeter has helped her get to where she wants to actually become the independent woman that she needed to be. But this revenge tactic, now, there's the problem, because we're supposed as the audience to basically hate on Demeter. But Katie's actions, her pranking of her, making her do this weird type of yoga, making her muck out the stables, are meant to we're meant to be laughing, but I just sat there thinking, this feels really, really cruel. She's paid for a holiday to get away from it, and you're punishing her because, I've lost my job in the past. It's not nice, but, that's just say the way life is sometimes. I've got better jobs from it. I've got worse jobs from it too, but, that's just the way the world works. So I just sat there reading this thinking, her actions towards Demeter are so, so cruel. And the way that she describes Demeter's designer Ugg boots, her Louis Vuitton stuff getting ruined, her clothes being damaged. And I was like, but yeah, they're designer items, and they're expensive items. But Demeter has this life where she has, basically, she works so hard her children don't know her. Her relationship with her husband is very, very fractured. But because it's, she lives in this gorgeous house, I think, was it Notting Hill? I don't know. Lives in this gorgeous house, and she has this gorgeous life. Her life is perfect, when it's so dysfunctional itself. And it's only when them two really sit down and kind of break the bread and talk about the differences, you can see that. But from the audience, we saw it already. And one thing I did like, though, is this, because obviously, as the reader, we're obviously the outsider looking in on this. The way the way Sophie Kinsella describes Demeter, straight away she's got a problem, but everyone in the office is so judgmental against her. Basically, everyone hates Demeter. she's dyslexic. It's obvious that she's got dyslexia. That's not even a spoiler. That wasn't me reading this and thinking, oh my god, she has dyslexia. I picked it up at the moment she was being described as being kind of scatterbrained and looking in the distance somewhere and kind of not being with it. Every single symptom of dyslexia is a tick in the box. But the thing is it's apparently, Demeter herself may have thought she had dyslexia. She just thought she had Alzheimer's, which I thought was a little bit, yeah, I don't think someone with dyslexia even needs to be told they have dyslexia. You know, not at this point. It kind of threw me a little bit. When your lead character says, Demeter, I think you may have dyslexia, I was like, Demeter probably may have thought that herself, you know. But anyway, okay. So anyway, so whilst at this farm in Somerset, which I love this farm in Somerset, I wish farm in Somerset was real so I can visit this farm in Somerset. Demeter has screwed up somewhere along the lines, and Sophie has to help her get her job back or save her job. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit problematic, because the thing is, no one reads the book, especially not a book that is, how long is this book? For 390 pages in one go. I read it over the course of about a week, okay? Characters that are introduced in like the first section, like the first 100 pages, suddenly have a point, become a plot point further on in the book towards the end. But at that point, it's so much time between the first two and several months. You're like, who are these people? You've kind of forgotten they even existed. Yeah. So that I feel a little bit disjointed. I mean, I love it when Katie described, going back to her city, how Somerset is like a circle, but London's like a spider. I love that description somehow. That's true. London's like a spider. It spreads out everywhere. Okay? So we're supposed to remember these characters, but I was like, who are these people again? I had to think back to the front to remember who they were. Yeah. So that kind of lost traction a little bit. And one thing, so I have a bad leg. It kind of lost traction a little bit at this point. Okay, Katie has to go and save the company and save Demeter's job and do all that kind of stuff. And I was like, so basically the unlikable character, and I think Katie is pretty unlikable in places. Okay, she comes like Pollyanna. She's got to fix everyone's problems, everyone's life. She's like that, you know. And there's this one bit regarding bullying in the workplace, but it just came a bit kind of out of left field for me. And it wrapped up a little bit too quickly. And one thing is, all characters in Sophie Kinsella novels get their happy endings, but the way it felt so neatly bowed as well was a little bit, yeah. You know, it's kind of like you go for all this, and then you get, spoiler here, you get a job as a creative director, even though you're in your early 20s. You're the now creative director, which is your reward. Yeah. And also, and this is going back to other Sophie Kinsella novels, at times it felt like a bit of a retrend of other early books, like Remember Me, or Can You Keep a Secret? It felt very, very much kind of like that. And one thing I always look, this is not just this book, I love female, like, romantic, like, chick lit, if you will, okay? One thing I'm always aware of is how men are treated within these novels. This is not about Sophie Kinsella, this is about other things. Is how men are treated. One thing I hate in any kind of female literary fiction is when a lead character or the friend of the lead character is having an affair, but that's okay because the husband works so hard and they never see each other, but they live in a really, really nice house. And yeah, I hate that kind of stuff where men are treated badly in this kind of romantic, this kind of fiction. I hate it when men are kind of looked badly upon, okay, or treated badly because they're men, they're disposable, okay. There's two bits in this book that bothered me, okay. Is because basically, essentially, apart from her dad, there's three men that kind of feature in this book, okay, relating to Katie or to Kat. Now I'm going to read this out to you. This is from my housemate. This is on page 66, regarding her housemate Alan. Okay, right, look it down a bit. Hey, he looks up, his face glimmering with hope. Kat? Yes. What about a pity shag? What? I peer at him in total incomprehension. What do you mean? Alan gestures down to himself as though it's obvious. You feel sorry for me right now? Yes. A bit, I said cautiously. So you should want to shag me. Okay, am I missing something here? Alan, I can't believe I'm asking the question out loud. Why should I want to shag you? Because that's what a pity shag is. That's what it is. You reach towards my bum and I move away. Okay, I leap away. No. No what? No. Just no to everything. No pity shag, nada, never, sorry. I add as an afterthought. Alan gives me a reproachful look and slumps out onto one of the boxes. So basically, you're heartless. I'm not heartless because I don't want to shag you, I say furiously. Just shut up. Alan's a bastard. Okay, what's a pity shag? And basically takes out in the lead when she doesn't reciprocate. You know, because she's got more respect for herself, and I actually do respect that. But, you know, men in this story are assholes. Okay? Further along, now at the farm there's another guy called Steve. Steve was, I'm not sure if it was an ex or, if, you know, held a torch for her. But in the meantime, while she's gone off to London, Steve has basically got engaged to someone else, but still holds a torch for our lead character. Now, one thing this reminded me of a lot, okay, just comparing this to earlier book, is the Shopaholic series. In the Shopaholic series, Rebecca Bloomwood's neighbour has this thing for her, and even on her wedding day tries to stop the wedding to get Becky to them to run away together, okay? And in the end, he gets with Becky's sister. Yeah, I know. Because I don't know why this keeps happening in these fictions, but it keeps happening. Okay, so Steve got to go to someone else, but has always held a candle, held up a torch for, you know, Kat and Katie, and here we go. Right, this is on page 208. Right. Sorry. So in this, Steve is basically joining the journey, if you will, to kind of destroy Demeter. And Steve wants to basically sleep with her even though he's engaged. And just trying to get to the point to read it out. Okay. Here we go. Steve looks perplexed and I can't help giggling. He helps himself to some coffee and pensively sips it. I'll tell you a secret now, so we're square. Okay, I say warily. No, Steve, I really don't want to. Kelly doesn't do it for me in bed. His fiancée. What? I stare at him. Not anymore, he elaborates. Used to, but... Steve, I clap my hands to my head. Don't tell me things like that. Well, it's true, he says, with a lugubrious triumph. Now, you know, he gives me a sidelong glance, might change things. What appear at him change things. Just putting it out there, he regards me with his bulgy eyes. New information. You can do with it what you can do what you like with it. Men are assholes in these books, aren't they? Oh, apart from the one she gets with at the end, the really, really rich guy who's her boss. Oh, but in the meantime, okay, he goes off to find himself, and she gets with this other new guy, who seems quite sweet, and they've been in for a couple of dates, but who cares about him because he's not rich. Yeah. So, overall, apart from that bit, which kind of threw me because I hate that kind of stuff in this kind of fiction, treat men like idiots because they're men and we're women, and we are all empowering and we can change the world kind of crap, okay? Yeah, it just seemed, I did not those things, but overall, I enjoyed this book. I'm not giving it 10 out of 10, because I really didn't like Katie. She seemed quite horrible to me at times. This Pollyanna who gets awarded with being a creative director, but the way she describes her description of the world around her, I love. So anyway, enjoyed. Even if you haven't read it, even with my spoilers, recommend it. She gets her perfect life at the end. The perfect life she wanted because it mirrors between her Somerset life and her London life, and it bridges the two together. And it's a really, really kind of well-written book. I will give that to some respects too. So, if you're tempted, I'll go and put links to where you can buy it from. And, hey, have a lovely day. So, sign off and take care. Mwah. Bye now.